The Root of All Evil, Frederick Devereux. Excerpt from a play written by Tasmin Jahan. Scene 3, 1970s, at the Devereux mansion. Sophie and Veronica have returned from their visit to Feathenbridge. Sophie, in her late 50s, is Frederick's sister. She lives in the family mansion. Veronica, in her 40s, is Frederick's second wife. With agitation, Sophie enters Frederick's study. Frederick is seated at his desk going through some paperwork. Veronica follows. On hearing their arrival, Frederick calmly looks up.
Why? Why are you always intent on making me feel so imperceptive in front of other people? Why can't you for once follow my lead, Veronica?
I do not wish to support any of your conceited ideas. I don't want people to think the same of me as they do of you.
Conceited? Is that your word for superior? All you had to do was agree with me. Example. If somebody were to ask, does this color suit me? And they obviously want you to compliment them. You reply with, oh yes, of course it does. You look lovely. That's it. Do you get that example, Veronica? Or do you want me to go over it again?
Please note I was actually referring to the word conceited, not superior. Your example cradles a lie.
I see that you both had a wonderful time at the wedding ceremony.
And Fred, she started talking about Thomas and his distasteful habits. It was painful to listen to.
Veronica, how could you?
There's nothing wrong in stating the truth.
What people do not know won't hurt them.
You know that truth is always a double-edged sword, Veronica.
I forgot that secrets and lies are the very pinnacle of society.
And we never talk about how much there is or was in the family safe, especially after a burglary.
Oh, my goodness me, Veronica. What compelled you to do that?
Furthermore, when asked about young Ben's issues with this wretched girl, she almost told all. If I hadn't interrupted that frightful conversation, who knows what would have happened?
I didn't have much to reveal. They seem to know most of it already.
All the more reason to cover it up and not join in.
And to top it all off, Luke Fitzroy was there, expressing his overwhelming gesture of goodwill towards your Veronica. It was as if she was all over him like a passionate rash.
Luke
So
Fitzroy.
painful.
Luke Fitzroy is a troublemaker. You should be careful, Veronica.
But she likes troublemakers, don't you?
I don't like troublemakers. Luke was telling me about his family and how he had just lost his youngest son to epilepsy.
Ah, that is tragic. If it's true.
You the way you were pouting your lips and looking at him. I thought you were pursuing one of your personal hobbies.
Veronica, did you really need to do that?
I do not recall pouting my lips.
Do you know what else she did today? One of the nasty Bradys was there, and she had the gall to say hello to him.
Which one?
Norman Brady. Veronica immersed herself into the conversation to such an extent, I thought we would never leave.
It's very hard to ignore someone who is looking straight at you. So I greeted him politely.
Greeted our enemy politely. What utter nonsense.
Well, ever since I testified against his brother, he's been on my case. You shouldn't have spoken to him, Veronica.
I was just being civil.
Is that supposed to be funny?
Veronica, dear, one of the maids was looking for you earlier today regarding some of your old dresses. She hadn't realized you were in Feathenbridge.
That must have been Misha. I promised to show them to her before getting rid of them.
You'd better run along now before she retires to her quarters.
I will go in a moment.
Veronica, dear, that was a subtle hint to put an end to this unstinting feud between you and Sophie.
Oops, you missed that signal too.
Must you butt in all the time?
Veronica, Misha's waiting. Please leave us.
Yes, please leave us so that Fred and I can have an adult conversation.
I can only see one adult in this room, and it isn't you, Sophie.
Veronica angrily exits.
With age, your wife is elderly. You've got to do something about it.
So, how'd you find the demeaning wedding ceremony?
You didn't tell me our niece Maria gave birth to twins.
I've never really been one to show any joy on hearing good news, especially to new arrivals.
Had you shown up, you probably would have enjoyed yourself, and Veronica wouldn't have caused so much grief.
I do not like attending such low-standard events.
But he's your nephew, Frederick. If you recall, you promised Stuart's father that you would take care of them just before he passed away.
I did nothing of the sort. Our brother's low standards made it impossible for me to even consider a mutual agreement over the Devereux estate.
You could have shown a more compassionate side for a change.
I did. I sent you and Veronica to the shamefully awkward event.
How kind of you. The inglorious Roy Minster was there too. Did you have anything to do with that?
Excellent. I'm so pleased he approached you again.
He's trying to impress me with his timorous charm and preposterous talk. Looked into my eyes and tempted to draw closer until I could smell his tainted cologne. Thought I was going to vomit. If I hadn't moved to one side, he probably would have rubbed himself against my body.
Well, he does have a lot of money, Sophie. He may be worth a shot.
Frederick, he has halitosis. He was seconds away from melting my face. You'll have to scrub my eyebrows and forehead and meticulously cleanse my face and shampoo my hair to get rid of that disgusting smell.
But he has the right combination for mental stability, freedom of thought. He has real money.
I have no intention of looking for a beau, especially at my age. I've already spent most of my life in solitude. Why do you expect me to rock the boat? 57 years of age.
I would seriously think about it. I told him to go. I thought that if he persevered, he would eventually make a good impression on you.
1 minute it's Veronica, and the next minute it's you. Why are you both so eager to get rid of me?
I just want you to have a successful partner in life. We've all moved on, except you.
I have moved on. Time has made me move on. I've aged gracefully. I have you and my nephews and nieces. What more could I want?
As you wish. I will leave it there for now.
Besides, I need to remain in this mansion to keep an eye on Veronica. Who knows what else she might get up to.
I wish you two could get along.
All this anguish would not have happened if you hadn't married her.
Pointless issue, Sophie. 25 years have passed now.
I must say, your first wife was a far better choice than Veronica. Lonnie was a woman of substance, who most certainly knew her place within society. She had such grace and presence. Why do the good and decent die so quickly? and the wasted and disrespectful linger on to poison our minds and humiliate us.
We can't live in the past, Sophie.
I like living in the past. It warms my heart.
You need to talk to Benjamin.
Again,
Well, this time it may be easier, because we've had a significant turn of events.
such as,
Michelle Buckley is no longer with us.
what do you mean, no longer with us?
Well, due to an unexpected error, Michelle has left this wicked world. Fate has played an ace.
Does Benjamin know?
No, I just pretended that she's alive and well. Perhaps we should continue to do that till I find him a suitable partner myself.
Or until he finds out the truth?
I will keep him busy.
Surely the mother of the son deal with him?
You have a wealth of wisdom. Ben likes talking to you.
All of a sudden, Veronica hurriedly re-enters holding a shawl.
Sorry to interrupt, but Max just handed me your shawl after locking up the Flying Lady.
If you could put it back where it was. And next time, please ask before you touch my belongings. That would be most appreciated.
I have no intention of touching any of your belongings, Sophie. I was only doing it for Max.
Veronica, dear, I forgot to say happy birthday.
Oh, you remembered.
Please leave us in peace to continue our important conversation.
We'll celebrate later. Now off you go.
I look forward to it. I guess I'll give the shawl back to Max.
Veronica exits.
You could have wished her a happy birthday.
Why change a lifetime's habit?
Happy birthday, Veronica. How hard is that?
The birthday's not that important. After all, we're all going to die someday.
You are very bitter today.
Frederick, history has made me bitter. Surely you should know that.
Why are you so hell-bent on punishing me for it?
Sophie abruptly exits as Frederick looks on with frustration. Well done, well done, well done. Love.
What happens next?
Val's Remedy. The setting is a Renaissance fair.
Fellow early bird. Good den.
You mean good morning?
I'm being Elizabethan.
Try good morrow. Den means evening.
Oops.
Try alack-a-day or woe is me.
Pass.
Dost thou now cherish authenticity?
I'm not a fanatic.
That's the trouble with this fair. No commitment to historical accuracy.
What with your breeches and a twist?
The damn security guard confiscated my instrument.
Oh dear.
Said it's against the rules.
They aren't usually so strict. They allow ukuleles.
Huh. Sacrilege.
The fair organizer, Mary Jones herself, gave her blessing. A uke can pass for a lute.
They're totally different instruments. Mine is an exact period replica.
Then what's the problem?
Health and safety.
Too loud?
Uh, my instrument can produce a lot of noise.
Amplified?
No,
Oh, we should tolerate anything acoustic, even bagpipes.
my instrument isn't musical. It's an instrument of torture. The rack.
All weapons must be peace bonded. Swords and scabbards with a bright orange zip tie.
The rack isn't dangerous. It's therapeutic when used in moderation.
Look, what's your name?
Call me by my Anglo-Saxon handle, Girth.
Girth. Your device is far too gruesome for us.
I'm not going to pull limbs out of their sockets.
The patrons come here to have fun.
Everyone enjoys a mild stretching, does wonders for the spine.
You didn't convince the guard.
I never even tried.
Why not?
I'm hopeless at standing up to people.
You seem assertive enough to me.
Only because you're easy to talk to. Val, is it?
Yeah,
You're warm and friendly.
thanks. I appreciate the compliment.
You remind me of my grandma.
You should have stopped at warm and friendly.
Sorry, I'm hopeless at social interaction.
Don't put yourself down.
Back there, I just let the guard take my rack away. After spending weeks constructing it.
Well, I'm sure you can collect it later.
I made it specifically for this event.
You poor thing.
The guard took pity on me. He said, if you're into medieval punishment, throw these.
Oh, rotten tomatoes.
Soft and mushy for pelting volunteers in the stocks.
Harmless entertainment.
Anachronistic. Tomatoes weren't widely cultivated in Renaissance England.
Well, then why did you accept the sack?
I'm a cowering wimp.
Oh, calm down.
Where are these so-called stocks anyway?
Right there.
I can't see any.
Are you short-sighted?
I can see a pillory for restraining the neck and wrists, but nothing at the ground level for the ankles.
Everyone calls that thing the stocks.
The world is rife with popular misconceptions.
You're very pedantic, girl.
Hmm.
But very educational. From now on, I'll call it the pillory.
No, wait. This fake doesn't deserve the word.
What do you mean?
The holes are too big. Anyone can pull their head and hands back out.
Blame Mary Jones. We must avoid any risk of participants being trapped.
Flaming hell! If only I had the confidence to fight the abuse.
You need to lose your inhibitions, Girth. A swig of my mead will do the trick.
Isn't mead just fermented honey?
Let me add some special ingredients.
Alcohol is usually enough.
Shh! Don't mention that word.
Huh?
I don't have a liquor license.
Oh.
If Bloody Mary catches me dispensing mead again, she'll ban me from the fair permanently.
That sounds serious.
Oh, she won't stop there. She'll get me blacklisted at every market and festival around.
In that case, let's leave it, Val.
You need my help. I'll be fine as long as you're discreet. Can you be discreet?
Sure.
Drink this.
Fine.
All of it. The effect should be almost instantaneous.
If you say so. Hang on. I say so. Power is coursing through my veins I can face anyone.
Start with that guard.
He's small fry. I'll confront the fair organizer and demand authenticity.
Offer your services as historical consultant.
Yes, I'll revolutionize the fair from the inside.
That's the story.
I'll release the weapons from their shackles, ban fantasy costumes, and replace those chemical toilets with genuine privies, unsanitized.
Bloody Mary will be quaking in her stiletto.
I'll even... Oh no. Oh no.
What's wrong?
I've just realized the full extent of my responsibility.
Stick to your guns. If guns are period appropriate.
Firearms were standard issue for an Elizabethan soldier.
You're a font of knowledge. It's your duty to share your gift with the unenlightened.
Right. I'll do what I must.
Mm.
Even betray a friend.
Pardon?
You supplied alcohol without a license. I have to report you.
Curse!
Hmm.
I was helping you.
I know, and I'm grateful. But as part of the management team, I must enforce the rules.
For one tiny breach?
That's not the only issue, Val. Even if you hadn't given me a drink, I'd still evict you.
Why?
You're a woman on your own, selling medicinal cures in public.
So?
You couldn't do that in the 16th century. You'd be accused of witchcraft.
Superstitious nonsense.
Historical fact. Countless women were drowned and burned at the stake, simply for being unconventional.
I want to honor their memory.
Fine, write a book or make a movie, but your stall has no place here. I'm shutting it down.
That's a drug talking. It'll soon wear off.
No, Val. Your potion only focused my mind. I'll never abandon the fight for truth.
Blast, you're a self-righteous prig on a mission.
Where can I
Have a
find...
prayer.
Where can I find the organizer?
As if I'll tell you.
I can easily ask someone else.
Mary Jones presides over the admin tent. Past the stage where they hold the cleavage contest.
The what?
Is that historically accurate? In olden times, did buxom wenches compete with each other, bowing to an audience in low-cut gowns?
Never.
As a feminist, I find the spectacle degrading. But I can't challenge other women's choices.
I can. I'll shut it down.
Put it at the top of your list.
I will. I hope that'll be some consolation.
For destroying my livelihood? Don't kid yourself.
One day you'll forgive me. In the battle of good versus evil, I'm on the side of the angels.
Ah! I'm Team Devil. Malicious spirits of the air, exult with me. I've sent my victim into the lion's mouth. The cleavage contest is Bloody Mary's pet project. She'll bite his head off and fling what's left of him into the mud. Almighty Hecate, goddess of witches, accept this offering from thy humble servant.
Well done, well done.
I like that one.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Thank you, actors.
Exterior, Metro Line, Silver Spring Station, morning. Jake, male, 45, dressed in business suit and tie, with PPE mask, stands on the station platform holding a briefcase. He holds the briefcase in front of himself with both hands. He is staring straight ahead. Alan, male 40, in business attire with a messenger bag slung over his shoulder and PPE mask over his face, strides over to Jake.
Happy New Year morning!
Jake does not respond and continues to stare straight ahead.
What, no returning the favor?
Jake does not respond. Alan walks up to him and yanks on his coat sleeve. Jake startles and turns to Alan.
Well?
Well, what?
I said Happy New Year!
Oh, I didn't hear you. The mask.
It ain't covering your ears.
No, I mean yours. It muffles your voice.
Gotcha. Well, Happy freaking New Year to you.
Uh-huh. Thanks.
You know it is customary to return a salutation.
Oh, yeah. Happy New Year.
Not exactly heartfelt.
Sorry, I'll work on it.
You better. It's gonna be bad enough in DC without your cloud hovering over everything.
I'll work on it.
So you just hungover? Must have been some celebration. I guess my invitation got lost.
No party. I haven't felt much like celebrating since Beth passed away.
Oh man, I forgot about that. How long has it been?
It'll be a year in February.
Damn, sorry, Jake. We should have had you over. How about we tie one on after work?
Thanks. I just don't feel up to it. Did you know Beth and I met here?
No kidding.
The summer after high school. We were both going to DC to intern as pagers.
You knew each other that long?
I was standing on the edge of the platform waiting for my train when a yellow hat with daisies blew across my shoe and went down into the tracks below. Beth came running to the edge. She stopped at the edge, and I thought she was contemplating whether or not to jump down and get it.
For a hat? That would have been a dumb move.
Yeah, but you should have seen the disappointment on her face, which is why I jumped in to retrieve the hat.
What? That was crazy. You could have been killed.
The train was still 15 minutes out. I had plenty of time. I got to be her hero, and she got her hat.
So that's how the magic started.
And now it's all gone.
It's gonna get better.
What is?
Everything. It's a new year. The vaccine's gonna take care of everything. We got a new administration. We'll be out of a job, but we saw that coming. Things are gonna turn around.
So this is the new year.
Well, it's just starting, but yeah, it's a new year. 2021, baby.
I don't feel any different.
Right now you're down, but this will pass. Believe
Thanks,
me, it will pass.
But thanks, but you don't have to worry about me. I get up this morning, put on my best suit, and here I am, pretending the world is no longer flat and nothing to hold me back.
Very poetic. You make any resolutions for the new year?
Not this year. All my problems have an easy resolution. I've got it all figured out. It came to me a few minutes ago.
Good to hear. Hey, the train will be here soon. How about I go grab us some coffee?
Not for me.
Come on, it's my turn to buy. We always get one for the ride.
Not today. You go ahead.
Just go grab us a good seat. I'll be right back.
Don't rush. I think the train is going to be delayed.
Alan runs off towards the coffee kiosk. Jake walks towards the platform. He sits his briefcase down on the platform. The morning train to DC enters the station as Jake takes a step off the platform. As he is about to move forward, a piece of newsprint flies up from the tracks and catches on his pants leg. Jake picks the paper off his leg. He starts to throw it aside when he notices an ad on the paper for sun hats on sale. The picture of the hat is covered in daisies. Jake clutches the paper in both hands. As the DC train enters the station, the air rush from the train tears the ad from his hands. Jake watches it dance in the air and disappear down the tracks. Alan rushes up to Jake. He's carrying 2 coffees.
Hey, I thought you were gonna grab us our seats. We better hurry. I got you one anyway. I didn't want to start the new year with a broken tradition.
Thanks. Here's to the new year.
Jake picks up his briefcase and walks with Alan onto the train.
Act 1, Scene 1, 1980. At the National Bank in the daytime, Frank has walked into the bank to rob it. He walks up to the security guard for help. He wants to know where to ask for money. The nun, the hooker, the old man, and the woman are all standing in the line for service. There is only one teller. Frank walks up to the guard.
I need money.
Sir, just get into that line. They'll help you.
Frank gets in line behind a woman who is in a hurry.
What's taking so long? I have to pick up my dog from the groomers.
Mike, did he leave? I'm in no hurry. I could stand here forever.
Whatever.
Suddenly, a nun and a hooker get in line behind Frank.
Don't they have any more tellers today? I have somewhere to be in an hour.
Look, Nunny, we all have somewhere to be.
What did you call me? Nunny?
Nunny like Bunny. We called our teachers that all the time.
You went to Catholic school?
Yeah, so what? You think you're the only person that was ever good?
No, but what happened? You clearly are working for a living.
Are you trying to insult me?
No, I was just pointing out you could have gone to school and got a degree. You sound smart.
Well, sugar, I'm smart, and I did go to school and I did get a degree, so I don't need your pity.
And you don't have to be cruel.
Look, just forget.
Oh, sorry.
I will be glad when this line moves. My poor Fifi's probably worried sick.
I need money.
What did you say?
I want money.
Oh, just stay in this line and they'll get you your money.
The old man was next in line to go to the teller. I
waited so long, that could have got me. Oh, I wish I could go home.
He walks off as the hooker yells out to him.
Well, I could give you a good time before you go. How about it, Pops?
What a shame. How can you talk like that way in front of a nun?
Nun?
Yes, I said nun. Shame on you. Thank you, miss, but it's not necessary. I can defend
I
myself.
bet you can.
Well, I never.
And from the looks of you, you never will, honey.
Laughing as the woman goes up to the window. Finally, Frank is next in line. He walks up to the window.
Good morning, sir. May I help you?
I need lots of money.
Oh, you want our loan department? Follow me, sir.
He walks Frank over to the loan and bank manager's desk.
Wait here and he will be able to help you get that loan.
Okay.
Manager walks up and shakes Frank's hand.
I understand you need a loan, sir.
I need money. I want money now.
Okay, then fill out these forms and take them back to the teller.
Frank, looking confused, takes the forms and goes to fill them out. Frank writes across the page, "I want money now," and takes it back to the teller's window, handing her the paper.
Finish money now.
Oh, I see you are having problems with filling out this form. Well, just give me your ID and I will take care of the rest for you, sir.
Frank, looking more confused, gives him his ID.
My ID.
Well, if you want your money.
He reaches into his pocket and pulls out his card. He gets back in line. The nun and the hooker are arguing when he gets back in.
Well, when I was a nun, we slept with the priest, smoked cigarettes, and drank hot cocoa all night long.
Wow, almost like us working girls. We too sleep with men, smoke weed, and drink 40 ounces all night long.
Shameful women.
Well, I may be shameful, but I'm sure she is going to hell before me. I'm just saying.
Both the nun and the hooker start laughing.
You are both shameful.
I want money.
What did you say, sugar?
He said he wanted money.
Look, I'm not deaf. I heard what he said. They might not be treating him right because he stutters.
Frank starts shaking his head, yes.
Oh, shameful.
Bad girls.
Well, I see you are well mannered.
Well mannered?
Frank walks up to the teller window again.
I want money. Lots of money.
Sir, we have to wait until your loan is approved by the manager.
Manager?
Yes, sir. He's right there.
Frank walks over to his desk to wait.
Yes, sir. We are working on it now.
Need money now.
Sir, I have to ask you to calm down.
Frank pulls out his gun.
Please, sir, we will approve your loan. Just give it a little longer. You don't have to kill yourself.
Kill myself?
Sir, please calm down.
Is this a robbery?
No, they won't give him his loan. Bloody bankers.
That's why we working girls get our money first.
Looking more confused.
I want the money.
Sir, we just approved your lown.
Everyone cheers.
Okay, you got it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Suddenly, the cops bust into the bank. The guard had pushed the button after he saw Frank's gun. Okay, hands up.
Hey, yo, I'm a customer. I just got a bank loan. See?
Well, you needed a gun to get a loan? Where are you from?
South Central LA.
South Central. Hands up. Suddenly, the bank manager yells out,
Wait! He has A1 credit.
well, why didn't you say something? I could have shot somebody on my day off. Frank got his money. Frank didn't know he had A1 credit. He walked out the bank, a free man and with good credit. All I can say is I'm going to that bank and get a loan.
I'll help you.
Especially after they find out I'm from South Central.
Hey, Steve, I cannot get on the video.
Oh.
It says the host has asked you to start the video. Okay.
Yeah, that happened to me. You know, I took it personal.
That's a true story?
No, you guys really did a great job. Thank you so much.
Fun.
I really appreciate it.
That was fun. That
It
was
was very-
awesome.
Well,
Good
you
job.
know, when you write, it's like every project, I still can't get in there, so I don't think I don't want to see you guys, but every time you write something, it's like giving birth, you know? And just, you know, when you have a new baby, you just want to show everybody, look how cute the baby is, but every now and then the baby is ugly and people lie.
Oh, no.
Oh, the baby was wonderful. Oh, what a beautiful baby. It's a side film moment, okay?
Well, hopefully most of you can hang around for conversation. Tasman, heard from your mother yet?
Yes, they fixed the plane, and they've just taken off 10 minutes ago.
I would have asked for a new plane.
Same. She said that she said she doesn't know what's going on, but then she would have wanted, a new plane. And one minute they were going to put them up for the night, but now they've decided whatever it was, they've apparently fixed it. So she's not confident because I spoke to her. So I do apologize. In between, I did have to speak to her, and she was sitting on the plane saying, well, they think they fixed the problem. So she's going to be 5 hours late.
They would have to be absolutely positive it was fixed, not think it's fixed.
Yeah, wow.
So 5 hours, she's 5 hours late leaving Heathrow. But
Right.
fingers crossed. She said, you've got to tell everyone that they can't cook any lunch or dinner for us because we're going to be late. And I said, don't worry, we'll get messages to everyone. But because you can track the flight, can't you? We've got a tracker.
Yeah, I think.
So when her flight started to go back, we were like, hang on a minute, it's going in the wrong direction. What's going on? Alarm bells. But anyway, thank you for your good
So,
wishes. So,
Tasman, in your piece, the Veronica role, so is that a daughter of Frederick?
so Goretti had to leave, but she was great. Michelle, Paul, thank you so much. You were wonderful to watch. Always a pleasure. So in this scene, Veronica is Frederick's second wife.
And he's trying to get her married off?
No. So they were both sent to, because obviously it's part of a much bigger play. So Veronica and Sophie, as you witnessed, they do not get on. So they're sisters-in-law. So Frederick and Veronica are husband and wife. Veronica is the second wife.
Okay.
So in the dialogue, Sophie does mention, I wish she was like your first wife, Lonnie, because compared to her, she is nothing much. She had standards, she had good taste, blah, blah, blah. And she mentions how the decent and the good and the decent die too quick or something along those lines. So this actually follows on from the last excerpt. So in the beginning, just for those who weren't here, in the beginning, two ruffians are lugging a dead body. They accidentally killed her. She was in fact Michelle Buckley, the lady that they mentioned in this scene. Benjamin, so it's like quick version, like Downton Abbey, but in the 70s, if you like, but with a lot going on in the background. And you get the opportunity for readers. The play is, well, they can really sink their teeth into it. To put it on as a big performance, to put it on stage, it will take forever, and nobody is going to give me that time. They're not going to sit through it. I was saying to the guys earlier, this is the longest play that I've written, and I've obviously had to condense it, and it's in a lot of libraries in the US. And I got one nice comment about, well, the comment that stayed with me, I get a lot of feedback. With this play, someone said, I read your play, I was late for work. Which I quite like. They said, I read your play, I was late for work, I had to finish it. So in this scene, sorry, coming back on track. So in this scene, we meet Sophie for the first time and Veronica for the first time. I wanted to make it abundantly clear what their relationship was. So you have Sophie and Frederick, who are siblings. She's 57 years old, she's still in the mansion, and you think, what's her story? How come she's 57 years old? How come she hasn't moved on with her life? You have Veronica, who is always playing second fiddle to whatever is going on. Frederick is the one who is always in control of everything, because notice he didn't go to the wedding and he sent Sophie and Veronica, and he said that's his compassionate side, and I've sent you two. He doesn't go to demeaning weddings, low standard weddings. He doesn't think much of his brother, and that was in the dialogue as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on. It is a murder mystery, so ultimately the aim is that you meet all these characters and then you think, well, who would bump him off? So let's see who bumps him off. So eventually, Frederick is murdered, but by whom? Everybody has an opportunity. Would it have been the ruffians? Because they said, oh my God, we've made a mistake by killing her. Does that mean that Frederick will make us leave town? Don't know. Thomas, we met, his son, who's drunk most of the time, very depressed because he lost his mother, and he watched the way his father treated his mother. Would it be him? Could it be Sophie, who's very bitter today? And history has made her bitter. So I may share that information with you later, but not just right now. And then Veronica, would she have a motive? I mean, she's nice to him, but she's always treated like a second-class citizen. Don't know. So let's say it's a sprinkling here of these emotions, and let's see where it ends up. But I've got to condense it because otherwise we'll be here forever. It is a long play, but I have invested so much time into these characters and in their backstories that maybe that's why it's quite well received with readers. But otherwise, great job, guys.
And particularly for Paul, most of his character was in his eyes, and it was just this very underlying evil in his eyes with every sentence he spoke. I was just really good.
Sorry, Stephen, someone once emailed me and said, you have created a delightful bastard in Frederick.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
this character reminds me of this guy from Succession, Succession series.
Oh yeah.
It reminds me of what's his name? Brian Cox?
Yes, right? yes, well done. I was trying to think of his name.
Succession. Well, it reminds me a bit.
Well, some people were waiting because I'd given them a synopsis when we've done it elsewhere, and they were saying, God, I want him to die. Will he die? And I said, yes, just wait for it. Just wait, he will, but just wait. He's so mean. He's so mean. But sorry, go on.
How many more scenes do you have?
Well, for this group, so that it doesn't get boring, I'm not going to go on and on. I'm just going to try and condense it as much as I can. So maybe 1 or 2, but I'm not going to go over 2 because, you might think, well, does she ever write anything else? So I'll condense it and get the salient points, get the best bits or enough information so that you can make up your mind, sort of piece it together like a little jigsaw. So maybe, if you're still willing to have me, maybe next month, unless of course you change the theme, and then I'll pick it up next year?
I guess next month is something we might need to discuss. Let's see what the fourth.
Unless it's a holiday for everyone.
So the fourth Sunday is actually the 25th.
Ah. Okay.
Well.
I don't
So,
care,
Uh,
obviously.
yeah.
But as it's the holidays, it's up to you, Stephen. It's you're in charge. So if we
I have no idea what my family has planned for that weekend. Sometimes I don't know until the day.
Oh God, I'm sorry. You mentioned family, and I just realized actually I don't know what mine is either. My roommates are going to have their family over, and to put it very briefly into context, it's 40 people and counting.
I think it's
If
safe
you're
to
wondering,
say
Thanksgiving was not as weird as it could have been, but Christmas is going to be fucking miserable. Anyway, I'm glad to have shelter. I'm glad to have a place to stay.
That would have been a great audience for us, 40 people.
Oh, they are not interested in theater. They think it's a waste of time and that I'm a weirdo.
Ooh, that's an
I
uncomfortable
moved in
we
here
could
for
change
financial
the
reasons, and I could be bitter about it, but someone looked me right in the eye and said something I'm not going to repeat, and I was very offended. And then he broke up with whatever. There was a breakup, and I laughed and laughed because I'm turning into an evil, bitter person. So I guess he was kind of right.
But if they're not an artist, they'll never get it. It's not worth it.
Thank you.
They won't
I
get it.
feel much better. I should
Good.
write a play about this. I'll sit down and make myself write a play about it. It takes place during Christmas. Whoever wants to play a 30-year-old who you're trying to decide whether or not she's a sociopath, raise your hand, email me, and I'll write a play.
Sam, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, so Stefan, I have an idea. So since the Christmas week, everybody is busy or something. So why don't you do maybe a poll on the LA reading group, and where people can vote which day they are available, and we go by the majority, and we will do reading that day.
Well,
How about that?
we pretty much have our core group right here. If anyone wants to just skip December, and we'll start again in the new year, January.
It's your call, Stephen. You're the person who does everything behind the scenes and making sure everything is working out and sending the Zoom link and everything. It's down to you. It's all on you, Stephen.
Yeah.
I miss you all.
I am reverting to my original. I will be here on Christmas because I don't care.
I could be
out. I've just launched my school, my film school, called Odd One Out Productions, and so we'll have a website up next week. But the goal is to mentor actors and to give them some sense of the film industry, because what it is, so many people spend a lot of money going to film schools and they're not really prepared to be artists. They teach them how to write a script, but they don't teach them how to navigate Hollywood, and even not going to Hollywood to make what they want to make. So I have a wellness program as well as a mentoring program. And at the end of 8 weeks, the students will be able to be cast in a film that we'll be making. So I put my email in the chat. And the main thing is it's an 8-week course. It meets an hour and a half. And I'm sure you guys don't need that, but you might have someone that does. But the goal is to have the student, mold himself into an artist and then see himself on film. And that's what all of us want in the end, if we're acting or if we're performing. And part of it is that because I'm an anthropologist, I decided to add a cultural element, because what I'm finding as I'm getting students, they'll say, I'm not American. And when I get a script, I don't know how to navigate these things. And they'll call me up and say, well, what does this mean? And I said, it means such and such. So there's a lot of things that coming from other cultures, trying to navigate that when you're doing a script coming out of Hollywood is not always there. And so a lot of the representation is not as it should be. So to give those students an opportunity to act or perform.
And will you be sending any students our way?
Well, most certainly, because one of the requirements is that you join a group
Okay.
or to be with like-minded people. And that's the other thing. What I'm finding out more and more, both men and women, when they don't create, they have anxiety. They have bad relationships. They lose their job. They have addiction, all because someone has said to them, being an artist is not lucrative or you're never going to make it. And so those are the kind of things that keeps a lot of people from creating. So being able to elevate yourself above that is what's going to make the difference in your work.
So what's your vote for the next LA play reading time? Should we skip December or go on to January?
Well, then that'll give me a chance to write more scripts.
Okay.
What if we did it a week before
Well,
Christmas?
maybe right after New Year's. I mean, then we'll all be fresh. We'll have a different outlook. You know, we spend time with our families, and then we can get back to some.
Well, could we get scripts within 3 weeks?
Oh, I write scripts in 2 days.
Oh, well.
I wrote the
By,
script.
by the way, she
one
wrote
day.
the script in like 2 hours. The one
Yeah,
Abe-
actually.
she wrote in 2 hours. So just to let you know.
You know, well, I have a system of one-word stories. I give my students one word and I say, tell me a story about this shoe and or about this dog or whatever. And the thing of it is we all have stories, literally.
Yeah.
But you know, just like the story about your mom not getting on the plane, tell her, get to writing, I need to play.
Yeah.
And it is, we are full of stories, and these are our artifacts. As a film teacher and as an anthropologist, I always say that what you do in film is timeless. It lasts forever. When people want to understand who they are, what do? We see our first kiss on screen. We see our first relationship on screen. So as filmmakers, we are historians. We are anthropologists. We are creating something that is to be shared. So, you know, no matter how simple or small it might be, take it seriously, okay? Because we have a job.
So my vote would be either to skip December or do it on the 18th.
Skip December then. If you're going to do it on the 18th, I won't be able to make it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest
The
with you.
18th should be fine for me. I'm the one who suggested it.
18th is okay.
I think it's okay. Yeah.
18th.
Well, I say January for me.
Yeah.
Why don't we just play it by ear?
Jan.
Why don't we just play it by ear? Make it tentative for the 18th, and then if those that can.
Well, again, this is our core group. Rex is one of our, and Tasman, two main writers that always usually has something for us. And if either one of them is going to not be able to attend the 18th, then we know we're down by 2 plays already.
Well, I'll write one play. Okay.
So my vote would be to wait until January, and the first Sunday is the 22nd of January.
The 22nd.
Second.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Okay. 22 January.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay. I hope to be, no. Sorry. I was looking at the 30th for a moment, but yeah, I'm outside of the country. I should be back if my flight's okay. I should be back on Saturday. So Sunday shouldn't be a problem. So if I post something, I'll probably do it very early, and I'm not really contactable until after the 21st.
Okay. Well, I'll post on Facebook that we're going to skip December. We're going to go for January 22nd. But if any writers want to submit something early, want to submit it in December, and want to get actors into December, go ahead and do it. But it'll be for January.
Cool. That sounds great.
Okay.
And by then I will have finished my 365 plays. That's my deadline for the 31st of December.
I thought you were going to say you wrote a play that was 365 pages.
I cannot
I was
wait
like, what?
until the 31st of December. And my last play is going to be about someone sitting down to write 365 plays for 2022.
Wow.
So in the beginning, it was
I
a
know someone who
novelty.
might appreciate that a
It
lot.
was a
I'll have to
novelty,
look
and
back
it's
there.
exciting, and then you realize you have to do hard work. And I'm like, oh, I have to work hard now.
And I'm at 170 and thought I had written a lot of plays.
Whoa, 170, jeez.
Yeah, it's the last leg of it, and there's so many ideas, so many things, so many little things, and everything. And I could be writing a play, and but I'm not doing this next year. Someone said to me, "Do you think you might do it next year?" And I said, "Are you kidding me? No, I am not doing this next year.
Well,
Next year is promo year. It is just about promotions of all the plays I've written."
I think it was Ray Bradbury who suggested that a writer should write a story each day. And he said after 365 days, you should have at least one good story.
No, I'm aiming for 100 out of 365. So I'm aiming for 100 to be great, and the rest average or not so great. But we'll see. It depends, you know, that's just me, but it depends. But, you know, I've got to write soap opera too, because obviously from two of these plays, it snowballed into soap opera. So let's see how we go with that. But you know what? There are not enough hours to write.
No.
I'm
But I'm glad I
always-
can take time out with you guys.
I'm always impressed with this group, with the writing we have. Now I'm learning about the quality and quantity that you're putting out. It's always great, and love being a part of it.
Yeah, I love this group. Absolutely. It's
And
so
Chuck has his own series. I don't know if you've seen the posting. on
Yes,
Facebook.
Chuck, I watched one of your clips.
Yes.
It's so
Please watch
good.
more. We're going up next Sunday for a Streamy Award.
Oh,
Which, I mean, to me, is like, what is it? You young people.
Hey,
would
it's an
know.
award.
Yeah, I knew it.
Award, red carpet, you know,
Congratulations.
everybody have to thank you.
Yeah, hard work. Well
Retirement house,
done.
watch us enjoy. And I had an event, not quite like your mother's flight. When I was flying home, it was like we were delayed because, we have to restart engine one.
Oh.
We're sitting there, okay. And usually when a jet engine starts up, it revs right up. This was like, so I turned to the guy next to me and said, "That's not good." We finally take off, and then we kept losing the videos we're watching going
my
off.
God.
So I was like, I just hope we land well.
Boy,
It,
you're
was,
not-
it wasn't as scary as 5-hour delay with smoke, but it was concerning.
Yeah, so she's had the
Start.
smoke and the emergency landing. I mean, I'm hoping now it's all going to be okay.
I'm sure it's going to be great.
Wow.
So let's move on to Val's Remedy. How'd it go?
Val's.
That was funny.
It was fun.
That was funny. I love the
Nice
costumes.
twist,
I
yeah.
love the wardrobe.
Yeah.
Val's natural remedies, and you
Yes.
just
I was
know.
waiting for Val to say that she was the admin, but it took such an even more interesting turn than that.
When
Yeah.
I saw the sign, Val's
And I
natural.
was
Yeah.
shouting
Sorry.
that widows can serve alcohol back in those times. If you were a widow, you had quite a bit of rights available to you. You just had to, people had to know you, and they didn't know who your husband was to say, yes, she's a widow.
Ah.
And,
Yeah,
that was
very,
not brought
very,
up.
very good, very funny, very.
Yeah.
The ending was great. It was,
And thanks for a new participant, Steve Weatherby. Thanks for coming in.
Yes, well done. Steve.
Yeah. Great.
So just a bit of background. This play was actually specifically written for Leslie and Steve.
Oh.
Theatre in New York
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
assigned me 2 actors and gave me the theme. It had to be about a Renaissance fair. And also they assigned a few other parameters too, like
Oh, neat.
a light bulb moment, which we've cut from this version. There are several other prompts as well. So we don't actually have Renaissance fairs here in New Zealand, so I had to do a bit of research. So it was fun just working out, what it was all about and finding what the conflict would be. I really enjoyed this project.
Yeah, definitely. And it was so funny because when I saw Val's natural remedies, I thought, how natural are these remedies going to be?
Yeah.
That was a clue in itself. And I love the headgear there that it started
Oh, yeah.
flashing.
Oh, I
and it
know.
was this
I thought it was
sense of
wonderful.
release for you. I love
It has different speeds too. It can like, just
like
blink
the
or
festivities.
just
The lights.
So Rex, was the original production virtual or live?
Oh, it's virtual. Yeah.
Steve, where are you located?
New Zealand.
New York. New York.
Oh, okay. All right. Great.
Yeah.
let's do it live. Let's do it live.
Yay.
So Rex, did you get any messages from the Secret Theater in Queens? They're doing another short play festival.
Oh. Yeah, that's one of those self-produced ones, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sort of steering away from them if I can. Unless I know it, like if they're in mid-Manhattan, I'm willing to go for it because I know some directors that can do that. But this one is quite a way out from the city, the central city, isn't it?
Not if you're in New York. It's not that far out. When I did the play in the first one that they had put on, I had to drive in from Connecticut for a couple of rehearsals, but it's doable. Yeah.
Well, if Leslie, if you know of a director that would want to take it on to do it in Queens, we can submit something. But
I've asked Leslie to be in mine.
Oh, have you? Well, actually, is it one of those shows where you can't be in two?
No, because it's live. You can be on the stage as many times as you want to be, I guess, and they're all short pieces.
So are you directing yours, Steve?
Yes.
I'm up for both.
Well, I don't know if you want to take on another directing duty, but I mean, that's an option.
Oh,
or if you know somebody.
That's true, and I've seen it once, so maybe I have an idea.
So what did you think about it? Give it some thought and then let me know.
Okay, well, I mean, I submitted. I'm still waiting to hear if it actually gets approved. But yeah, if you want me to handle it for you, I can.
So is there a deadline for submitting? Do you know?
I can't remember what it was. I'd have to go back.
Why don't I check? So could I put your name down as because when they see I'm in New Zealand, they sometimes freak out.
Right.
But I'll just say if I can say Stephen Olsen will be the director.
Well, they even questioned me as to whether or not, they said, because you're not in New York, are we going to have to find a director for you? I said, no, I'm going to direct it myself. So. Yeah.
So Steve Weatherby, would you be up to performing live? It means learning the lines and being off book.
Yeah, I'm an actor, so of course, performing, especially live, is always enjoyable, and certainly willing. Leslie was chatting with me a little bit, just recently, talking about the chance of doing a live. Of course, everything depends on schedule and logistics. So I don't want to be irresponsible and say, oh yeah, 100%, I'll be there, but most certainly, if the opportunity is there and the timing lines up, absolutely.
What this group
we all love acting here. Yeah.
What this group does is it's almost like a mini Fringe festival, and it's over a 4-week period. Each play gets slotted into one day during the week. So there's actually 4 performances.
Very cool. Yeah, thank you. And on that note, I just want to thank everybody again for having me for the first time. Really lovely bunch here.
Thank you. Yeah. Come back in January. Look for a posting.
Yeah. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that certainly worked out a lot of things. So the next one up was Penance Resolution. And this one was actually written for the group in Florida, but Florida group doesn't record their pieces, and I kind of wanted to have a recording of this, and that's why I brought it to this group. And it was supposed to be written around having something to do with New Year's resolutions. And that's where it came from. And Chuck and Donito, is he still here? Maybe did Donito? Oh,
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Don't worry about me.
I was really happy with their performances, and as we were rehearsing, I said that Chuck's characters and Donito's characters have to be the exact opposite. Whereas Donito, he's happy it's New Year, and Chuck's got other thoughts going on in his head. So I was really happy with the performances.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I just messed up one line.
Oh, well.
What line did you mess up?
No, we didn't even notice.
When she's on I'm describing she's on the railroad tracks, and I said it twice. She came to the edge, and then she went to the edge, and she did this.
Oh, it
And I
worked.
thought, okay, it still worked. Okay.
Yeah, it's not Shakespeare, so nobody knows what's written.
Well, Shakespeare's not as good as you, Steve.
I'm good. I'm happy you said that, but I know it's not true. So we'll move on. Any questions?
No, it was just a nice piece to listen to. It flowed really well. You know, it wasn't very demanding or so detailed that you had to really, really listen into. It wasn't too deep. It was just right, and it gave the right balance with the rest of the plays. I mean, I know mine can be quite wordy, and I can get accused of being, oh my God, she loves words, and I do, I love words. But yeah, it was really nice, and it flowed really well. And the fact that it was Chuck and Donetto, I think they're quite different actors. They're very good actors, and they're quite different, and it really brought out the characters.
No, you have great chemistry, and like I can see
Yeah.
the two of you being friends in real life. I can really see this happening.
It's funny though, originally in the script, I don't know if I should say that, but in the script, there's like a 5 years age difference between us.
Okay, so it's 55 years difference, okay?
Oh,
I'm sure it's
Oh,
not.
come on, Chuck. Donetto isn't that old.
You're 25. Let's.
We've had women play male parts, so you know it's sort of like we do with what we have, and it works. It always works out. Leslie has played a man. She's also played like what a 15-year-old daughter. Yes. So yeah.
And she's
Hey,
fabulous.
in the
Yeah.
other play, I was apparently a woman. I didn't even realize. I was called she. I don't know why. Thank you, Joyce. By the way.
Well, no, I said male or female, and then at some point I just kept saying she, but you were very much like a banker. I didn't.
It always works. So then we go on to A1 credit. I'm glad we got it off the ground. It was getting a little tight there, but it worked out. Yeah, it does help to get everything cast before the day of the performance, but sometimes this is the way it works. I'm glad Zeph came in because originally I don't think you were, I didn't see you on the Facebook page, you know, trying to grab any cards. So.
For what it's worth, the past couple of months, I have always been, oh, I'm going to check out LA Play Reading. I'm going to volunteer for a role. And then it never happens. And I'm like, Steven's going to wind up just thinking I'm so high maintenance, and like, apparently not. Apparently I'm the one who thinks the worst of myself.
I'm still waiting for you to bring in one of your scripts.
For those of you who don't know, Steven and I are both involved in the Florida group, as is Rex. And I might one of these days. I was explaining to another actor who every single play he's seen of mine performed virtually, he has actually asked, when are you going to have it performed on stage? And I always look at him and say, if I strike it rich here in the city of Seattle, I will have them staged. That has not happened yet. And for those of you who don't know, I have written a dozen plays. 3 of them are going to be in that showcase if I ever strike it rich. And I write about the same goddamn things over and over and over again. because I am boring. The protest one I wrote was about a professional ballet dancer who gets fired because she turns 38, which is very true to the industry. And I was shocked at how many people identified with it. I was totally convinced everyone would, think, like, I wrote it when I was in a bad mood, and I thought people would think of me in a certain way, and that was not true at all. And then I wrote play after play after play about, you guessed it, youth theater, the thing I mentioned 500 times when you first meet me in a theater event. I wrote plays about that. I need to redo a couple of them. Also, I write a lot about funerals and the arguments that happen there. So I'm going to combine the two and give it another shot.
Well, I have to say something. Zev picked it up today, just today, and she did the cold reading, but she was so good that
thank you.
It felt like she had rehearsed and she had done it so many times, and it was very impressive.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I think all the actors were very good, and I liked Sam or Frank.
Frank, you were terrific. I loved your
You had
victory dance at the
so
end.
much
That
on
was
your plate.
phenomenal.
Yeah, you had so much on your plate. You had the stammer to deal with, but also you had this big goal to get the money, and you just didn't have to say much. So kudos to Joyce for putting it together. Less words mean more. So that worked well with the other people in the queue as well, in the line. Sorry, I should say.
Yeah,
we say queue over here. So yeah, that was quite good. Yeah.
Everybody had different ideas, and Joyce supported us all, and I was really glad. I didn't know if I would be able to pull off a Southern accent. For what it's worth, I warned you I would talk about my youth theater experiences every single time you meet me. I have not done a Southern accent since Tom Sawyer, and I have been informed that Missouri is technically not part of the South, and I was 15, and the director had to scold us and tell us that was hard. So that's immediately where my mind went, is, I'm gonna, but it worked. It was vaguely Southern, and it was okay. And like, she says honey and sugar and don't insult me, and like, it came off as very Southern to me. So that's what I was trying to pull off.
You were great.
Thank you.
I mean, this is the thing about which I enjoy working with Joyce. So she usually writes characters and makes sure that she expands enough on all the characters, like the way she said. And I remember when we were doing this one, especially the hooker one. I mean, we were discussing that should we make it a Southern belle, or should we just leave it to the person's discretion how they want to do it? But good job on pulling it off, and especially the women's part, the nun part. This like women getting into an argument. I think that added the flavor to the script.
Calling her nunny.
Yeah,
it's a little offensive.
And also, everybody else, the men also did a good job. That's the banker, the teller, or they're like.
It was funny that the nun was basically criticizing the hooker, in that first conversation, and then we come back to her and she's had sex with priest.
And when she said she drank hot cocoa all night, I read that absolutely as a euphemism. She never said what was in the hot cocoa, and it's pretty clear that it was booze. Vodka and hot cocoa. All right.
I almost said I room with the hooker. No, I room with the nun. And she's an ex-nun. And so
I like the line where it says nunny.
Well, we sit around and talk about our lives, right? So she thought she was going to contribute, and her contribution was, well, I've done something, and we say, what did you do? Well, I used to drink cocoa all night and smoke cigarettes. And then when she didn't get a rise out of us, she said, and yes, we had sex with priests, and we just fell out laughing. Because this is her way of sharing. But she said, you know why we wear those big things that cover our bodies? It's to hide our indiscretion.
Oh, wow.
I felt like I had appeared in for the Catholic Church, but that's a quite true story.
I have to say, I'm imagining her in Catholic school, and she's calling her teachers nunny. I have a feeling she spent a fair amount of time in detention for that one.
Yeah.
Honestly, the scene where the three women are arguing, it reminds me of, maybe it's just like a deleted scene from Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts.
You know what? I had that in mind for her to be Southern, like
Oh, how funny.
Roberts. So,
And I remember a time, I guess I must have been in like junior high. I was on a trip with an organization that I was involved in. And at one point, part of what we were doing, we went into a Catholic church. And it was probably the first time I've ever met or had any conversation with nuns or anything. But our group was trying to find something. And I saw this nun down the hall and I said, "Hey, lady." And one of the guys that was with me, who was running the group, who was Catholic, said,
My God.
"That's a nun." And I turned to him and I said, "But she's still a lady, isn't she?"
no, she's not a lady at that point.
You know, it's funny. I came across a lady at the airport, and she didn't want it to be called a lady.
Okay.
You know, my son was a little confused about. He said his plane was supposed to land in a city called Santa Ana, but he said LA, and either he was confused or she was confused, and he said, "Listen, lady," you know, and he tried to say something, and she said, "Don't call me a lady." Why? I mean, come on. What is he supposed to call you?
That woman.
Sometimes we're a little too woke.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go, everybody. I really enjoyed it.
Lovely to see you. I should
Okay.
go too.
Nice
Late
to
hour for me.
See everybody in January.
January.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me. I'll see everybody in
Stay
January.
safe.
Stay well.
See you in January.
Yeah.
And I'll be in contact with people. Thank you,
Happy
Stephen.
Goodbye.
Thanks,
Brilliant.
Stephen.
Thank you so much for this
Yeah.
opportunity.
Thank you, Stephen.
Always.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks for letting me
bye.
be in
See you
in
in
your play.
January.
Thanks for
Love
letting
and
me be in
light.
the play. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.